Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Suds News. I am Vinny. This is Angela, and we are live to talk all about General Hospital and the fabulous residents of Port Charles, New York. Angela, how are you today?
I am well. You know, living the dream, writing, yada, yada, yada.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear
What about you, Vin?
I am doing good. I just have one more major project left, and then my schooling is officially done. So then I'll be able to start doing more for Suds and Squirt Circle Media and more for Petty Prattle. And we'll be able to put out a lot more content. I've been toying with TikTok lives, even though, the grays in my goatee shows it's not necessarily a social media platform that I frequent, but I'm going to use it to build the brand as best I can. Anyways, Steve, hi, welcome to the chat. Everybody who is watching live, jump in. The chat is open. Whether you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and obviously get into the chat. If you're watching on X, if you post a comment, it will come up in our chat box as well. I believe Facebook too. So go ahead and hit that like button once we get started. Hey, Melissa, welcome into the show. Couple things as always later on tonight, 10 p.m. We'll be talking all about Beyond the Gates on Gate Crashers, and I believe in the next couple weeks, Dockside at the Bay will be coming back as well. I just needed to get through this last month of schooling. So Dockside at the Bay is currently still on hiatus. We are getting full steam ahead. We are just a little over a week away from our very first Suds and Squirt Circle Media Premium Live event that's going to take place on Friday night, May 30th. And that's next Friday. So it's not this coming Friday, but it is next Friday. We'll be doing the Sudsy nomination special. So tune in for that. That'll be 8 p.m. Friday, May 30th. Hey, Amber, welcome to the chat. So yeah, keep that date in mind. And then the entire month of June, you'll be able to vote on the Sudsy Awards using a Google form like last year. Got any updates on your end from Petty Prattle or Parade that you'd like to share with our viewers?
There's a lot of new content being put up on Petty Prattle, and I have been, crazy writing for Parade. I'm 6 articles in for today, and I've got 4 more I'm writing after this. So it has been a very busy day over there, which is fun.
Awesome. Hey, you're doing something that you love, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
So a big congratulations out to Steve Burton, who got married over the weekend. And I think your report was the first one that I saw about it. But he and his now wife, her name is, I believe, is Michelle, correct?
Michelle Lundstrom.
Yep, they tied the knot. So big congratulations to Steve Burton. As everybody knows, Jason Morgan. All right.
Yes.
So you can tell that we are in the midst of sweeps because GH has been GHing. And
wow.
It has been fantastic. Mm-hmm. Have there been any surprises? Any surprises that you've seen thus far in this in this sweeps month, especially over the past week?
Well, I mean, I haven't been surprised by anything, but I've been loving it all. I guess I was a little surprised that Lulu told Cody.
Yep.
And he instantly was happy that Brook Lynn, was lying to Dante. Somebody finally saw her side of it.
Yep.
Nina trying to throw down with my girl Carly today.
Oh yeah, we will get there because that was fantastic.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been surprised by anything. But I'm loving it all.
Yes.
Absolutely loving it all.
I am loving it too. It's been great. As always, GH is the first show that I watch every day when I get home from work. Because I'm sorry, but in my opinion, it is the best soap opera out there. Now, Beyond the Gates is new, so once they start to establish their, their run and their fan, their stories and everything, then they might be in contention. But they're still new, so they're still on that learning curve, so to speak. But in my opinion, General Hospital is the best paced and the best written soap opera that's out there now.
I agree completely. I think that it has the best production value. I think it has the best acting. I think across the board, it is the best soap.
Can we just, speaking of best acting, can we just talk about Gio for a minute? His acting over the past year has gotten so much better.
He's been so phenomenal.
Absolutely. I am so excited to see this guy grow. He's not just the funny face kid, there anymore. And you can tell he almost like Nicholas Chavez. He's kind of gotten a little bit more defined in terms of his body. So there's definitely an investment being made into Giovanni Mazza.
Yes.
So I'm excited
absolutely.
to see where this goes.
I am so looking forward to seeing. Yeah, I'm really excited to see him play out the story that's coming his way.
Yes, I am too. I think that it's really going to be the test of having him, be the center of the story. And especially, I pretty much guarantee it's going to come out during or right after his performance at the Nurses Ball.
Yeah, they said 2 secrets are coming out. So I think it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not sure about the second. But we'll stay on that one for a minute and we'll go back to the other ones. Yeah, I'm positive that his secret comes out.
Yeah. It's funny because they're really obviously bashing us over the head with the little teases regarding Brook Lynn and Dante and Gio, and just the way that today's show, they had Brook Lynn and Dante on one side, they had the rest of the Quartermains on the other, and they were talking about parenting. I really like the teases that they're doing because obviously it's blatant foreshadowing. The twist would be if Gio is Cody's son instead of Dante's. Do you think that may be a possibility?
No, because Cody would know that.
Touche.
Cody would know that he had slept with Brook Lynn as well.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I mean, I've seen, and here's the thing. I wouldn't care. I mean, I have no, horse in this race because none of them are my faves. I have no horse in this race. But there's no fallout to that kid being Cody's.
You're right. There's not.
You know what I mean? Who's going to care?
Right.
You know what I mean? The fallout is in that child being Dante's because Olivia, Sonny, Ned, Tracy, Tracy knows about
Mhm.
baby now, but she still doesn't know it's Dante. There's just so much more fallout. There's no fallout if Dante's going to care that Cody slept with the girl that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? True. There's no fallout.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that is the best possible scenario to, because you're right. It is, there's going to be so many relationships that are severed by this. Lois will be outcast. This might be the swan song for Lois. She may be thrown out of the Quartermain household and thrown out of Port Charles.
It's possible. I wouldn't, rule it out.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. She's survived worse. So.
Well, it must be the Bensonhurst in her.
Yes.
Folks, come on in and join the chat. Definitely, we welcome any kind of comments, questions, feedbacks, and we'll put you up on the screen if we like it enough. Also, folks, I do want to let you guys know that if you do want to support the show, go over to Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Suds Suds Media, and you can go ahead and donate and just help out to support the show. Or you could sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. There you'll get all of our archive and all of our pre-recorded shows early and ad-free, as well as more stuff upcoming. So definitely check those two places out where you can support the show. All right, so sticking with the Gio and Brook Lynn and Dante situation, do you think, I know it's to cause angst, but do you think Dante is being a little overbearing with the way that he's coming down on Gio?
Oh, God, yes. He is being an absolute tool bag.
Yeah. I agree.
It was horrible.
I agree. I was watching and I'm like, I hate using the terminology, but it's out of character for Dante to do that.
Well, I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. I did.
Go ahead, though.
No, I hate being one of those people. Oh, it's not part of his character. It's not his character. It's going against his character. I don't like doing that, but I've never seen him that over the top ridiculous, just like Melissa said, in something. I get it. It's his son and, Rocco and he's thinking as a cop instead of, well, boys will be boys, teens will be teens, whatever. But I still feel like he's over the top.
Oh, I think he's over the top. I just don't think he's acting out of character, because here's the thing. Dante can very, very, very much be his father's son.
Well, that's true.
And want to avoid all responsibility for something.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for him canceling on the Woodchucks game.
Yeah, he was supposed he's on Jason. Jason wasn't in town. And Dante knew that.
Yeah.
And it's not like Jason was out partying. Jason was taking care of Dante's daddy. And Dante was supposed to, and this is like classic. He's like projecting this shit.
Right.
This is Sonny Jr. all the way. We don't like Sonny in this house. Knock it off.
No, it's all right. Although I like how Sonny did talk to Gio and be like, Dante will get over it. Rocco being okay is the most important thing. And, he was being very nurturing to Gio.
Yeah.
Which everybody is. Even Olivia today, after Dante, Gio said that, when he came out and said, listen, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, yada, yada, yada. I don't care if anybody doesn't like me. But I did like how Gio stood up to Lois and said, you guys have been coddling me. I'm an adult now. I could take the responsibility.
And that was fine. I think that one, those Italian mothers are never going to stop coddling.
Well, that's true. I have one.
You know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I am one.
Yeah.
So, and he should know that where he grew up. But again, right. All those Italian sons always go through the "I'm a man, I can deal with," and their mothers are like, "Okay, all right, whatever."
Melissa says, "I feel like Dante." Yes, agreed. Agreed.
And it's so hypocritical.
Yeah, of course.
The man lied, committed perjury, so that Sonny wouldn't get in trouble for shooting him.
Right.
But Michael had to take the fall for, defending his. I can't. The character of Dante's giving me agita, Sonny says.
Yeah, I completely understand it. But overall, the story is shaping up to be very well. I was not expecting. I was not expecting, like you said, Lulu bringing Cody in. Although it seemed like Lulu just tried to tell everybody so that she had somebody agree with her and not tell her that it wasn't her secret to tell. Because she had her mother, she had Tracy, she had Carly, and all of the.
It's still not her secret to tell.
Right.
But I understand her wanting to tell it. One, and another thing a lot of people are forgetting, Lulu had a child kept from her. She had 2 children kept from her. Britt stole her embryo, and her and Dante's embryo, and gave birth to Rocco and was raising him. Valentin stole her other embryo and, made his own, made Charlotte and had a surrogate cat, so she's coming at it from that angle as well.
Right, which makes total sense.
And Dante also had Rocco stolen by Britt. You know what I mean? So it's, that part of it's kind of been getting lost a little bit in this, I think.
And also, Dante himself was kept from his father by Olivia. So, it's all around. I agree that Dante should know. And I have to. Lulu could do things a little recklessly, but I think her heart is in the right place when it comes to what she's trying to do.
I agree, and I don't think it's her trying to screw over Brook Lynn, despite what Brook Lynn thinks. But she is trying to do what's right for Dante,
yes.
and everybody keeps saying that, if you tell, this will blow up Gio's life. Well, Dante can be told and not blow up. Telling Dante isn't telling Gio.
Right.
Those are 2 separate things.
Yes.
I also liked the conversation that she had with Carly last week when, she told Carly that she thought it was Gio, and she said that she asked her if she'd have a problem not telling Sonny. Carly's like, nope. And it was just really funny because the week before that, in the hypothetical, when Carly was like, you can't tell, and Lulu was like, what if Jason had a child out there?
Right.
And you found out about it. And Carly's like, well, you got me there. But as far, the hypothetical, absolutely not going to lie to Jason. The Sonny has a grandkid. Yeah, I'll deal. I'm fine. I'm good. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I did too. And the dialogue that they've been doing has been great. Just even going so far as, and I know it's brought up almost every time Lulu and Carly talk, but when Lulu's throws it in Carly's face that, she paid Brook Lynn to break them up. It seems like almost every conversation that comes up in some form or fashion. But I really feel like this story is probably one of the best, in my opinion, right now. It's got the best pacing and the best storytelling.
Yes.
Welcome to the chat, Donna.
Yeah.
Yes, sanctimonious Dante.
I don't know what's going on with my
But all right, so moving on, we are getting ready for the nurses' ball. We've been seeing the rehearsals. And do you find it strange that Chase will be dancing the tango with Anna?
I mean, I don't really think it's strange. I know that there are a lot of Duke and Anna fans that are very upset because that was their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a way to do it that they could still honor Duke. I don't know, but Duke is dead. I was very surprised in the promo to see Chase and Anna walking out there because I felt for certain that something was going to happen and Chase wouldn't be able to do it and Dalton would fill in, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So I think it's fine. Duke and Anna, I understand Duke and Anna fans being upset, but they weren't my ship, and he's dead.
Yeah. And not to mention they did have that one nurse's ball where Griffin actually danced with Anna. But of course, Griffin being Duke's son makes sense.
Right. That was,
Talk about a blast from the past. We haven't seen Griffin in a long time.
Yes, that's true.
But I do like how they're showing. So we're kind of seeing some glimpses into some of the acts that are going to go on in the nurses' ball. Mm-hmm. We know there's going to be something with the kids because Donna was rehearsing, which the parents were not allowed into, which I understand.
Yes,
I completely understand that. Because, well, kids get distracted and they want to overact when they have their parents there. So just let them learn the actual skit.
Yeah. My kids did theater and we weren't ever allowed in the thing. So we also got a few weeks ago, one of the boys posted a behind the scenes pic of them, all the kids in rehearsal for whatever their nurses ball thing was, a behind the scenes thing. So we are getting a kids. I have a little spoiler.
Okay.
About the nurses ball. I'm kind of sad about it.
Uh-oh.
I was really looking forward to the performance that Tracy was going to do singing with all of them dancing around her.
Oh, okay.
We're not getting it.
Oh, no.
Do you want to know why, or should I not spoil that?
I mean, you've already let the cat out of the bag that it's not going to happen. So might as well let us know why.
So remember in the previews today where Drew called Mac and said he was remembering who?
Yes.
In the end of the show today, Drew called Mac and said that he remembered more and he knew who had drugged him.
Mm-hmm.
He's framing Tracy for it.
Wow. Oh, man.
Tracy's on the phone and he says, "You want me to do what?" I'm pretty sure that's Mac telling him he has to arrest Tracy.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a shocker.
Yeah. Tracy's getting arrested. So there will be performing at the nurses' ball for Tracy.
Well, damn.
And I was really looking forward to that to seeing what she was going to sing while they all danced around her too.
Yeah,
But
well, that sucks. That really sucks. But I mean, the show must go on.
so, yeah.
I want to thank the 112 people that are watching
Yep.
live currently throughout all of the destinations that are here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure to hit that notifications bell if you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. What are you waiting for? If you like this, if you like the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then turn on the notifications bell so that anytime any content goes up, whether it's soap opera related or wrestling related, you will get a notification directly, a push notification directly to your phone or computer or what have you regarding the content that is posted or live. Do you think that Kai is going to get out of the hospital in time to walk Trina down the aisle, down the red carpet?
Yes, but that's my guess.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. Shush! It's just the kids. Sorry, dogs are gonna bark. It's just how it is. Yeah, so I'm not positive. I have a feeling, yes. I mean, we have the breakdown that something happens on Friday that has Trina concerned. I just don't know what it is.
Okay, so that could be that, Kai tries to get out or he ends up collapsing during PT or something to that effect. Because I do like how Joss had asked Trina, well, where do you want to go out after the nursing ball? And she's like, oh, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the hospital to be with Kai. So there's going to be, I think there's going to be something.
Yeah. Well, the nurses' ball ends on Friday.
Okay, it ends on Friday. It doesn't begin on Friday. Okay.
No. It begins tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the spoilers for tomorrow are the who's who of Port Charles arrives on the nurses' ball red carpet. The red carpet hosts are Drew and Nina, which is funny.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And there are going to be some surprising absences from the nurses' ball. I will just leave that at that.
Okay.
And I'm really not sure who the surprise guest is going to be.
Could it be Blaze?
I thought it was going to be, but one of the people who isn't going to be at the nurses' ball would really have to be at the nurses' ball if it was going to be Blaze.
Makes sense. Okay.
Unless Blaze is sticking around and we'll see that person later. But I don't know. I mean, I wanted it to be Blaze.
Yeah.
I know Smart Money has on it being Michael, but in the promo, Sonny didn't look happy, but that doesn't mean it was the moment of whoever interrupted. That could have been about the Geo stuff. It could have been misleading. I know Smart Money says that it's Michael because Michael is imminently returning. I think it's a bigger impact to have Michael walk into the court case.
Courtroom. Yep.
But, I mean, Drew and Willow look pretty shook in the promo. So it's probably Michael, who is Rory Gibson. Rory Gibson is playing Michael. I know it's not confirmed, but I'm telling you it's Rory Gibson.
Okay.
Rory Gibson is playing Michael. I had thought so when, everything that went down. And then, he was following Teschner and Frank Valentini and Katie McMullen.
Yeah.
And this weekend, he followed Sophia Madsen.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
He's Michael.
Yeah.
He's Michael. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. I know that there's a lot of trepidation about it because people were like, oh, he was horrible as Noah. I didn't think he was horrible as Noah. Noah's just kind of a really bland character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot to Noah. I think it's very funny that Robert Adamson also played Noah.
Yeah, I know there was a little bit of controversy there.
Yeah, so it was funny that, he lost 2 roles. He chose to leave Noah, I'm pretty sure, but still, it's still funny. But sometimes somebody's just not right for a role, and then they're amazing in a role that they are right for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a chance. I'm hoping he comes back as Dark Michael. I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes.
I really hope so too. I want to see the dark side of Michael,
Mm-hmm.
Utilizing that Corinthos, side of him. Mixed with Quartermain, because Quartermain can be pretty diabolical as well. So,
how about the Spencer?
Well, that's true. Yes, he does have Spencer in him as well. So he's like the amalgamation of all the.
He has no Corinthos blood.
No, that's true. By adoption.
He has Spencer and he has Quartermain.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah. No, I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Michael. I think it's going to be a really good thing with him coming back into the fold.
Uh-huh.
And it's a new take on Michael. I mean, regardless of how great Chad Duell is, it's, it's a fresh take. It's a fresh, actor, and sometimes you have to freshen that up.
And here's the thing. I liked Chad Duell. I still like Chad Duell. I wish him nothing but well.
Right.
Despite what some are saying, Chad Duell chose not to come back.
Yep.
When he left, Frank said, "We are leaving the door open for his return."
Mm-hmm.
But there was a clock on that. There was always a clock on that. I always expected Michael to be back around the time when the baby was going to be born.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
They needed Michael back.
Yep.
They called Chad. They said, what's the deal? He said, no, he passed. They got somebody else.
Yeah.
This is a business. They could not leave the role open for him indefinitely. That was never going to be the deal. And anybody who thought that is ridiculous. And they didn't not offer it to him first.
Right.
They
had the right of
offer
first refusal.
Exactly. If they were so eager to get rid of Chad Duell, they never would have not recast immediately.
Right, exactly.
They only wrote that whole story to let Chad have his time.
Correct.
And they were hoping to get him back. But, he has other things he's doing. He's still working on that play. It's in rewrites. And he's also working on, he's in pre-production on a movie with the same guy that's doing the play.
Yeah, so
he has a lot going on.
Other stuff. Yep.
Right. And he had said when he left that he wanted to, expand his repertoire.
I mean, especially for someone who's a youngish actor who's in his early 30s, we'll say.
Right. Well, he's
sometimes
in his late
soap
30s.
opera, late 30s. So, a soap opera is not the end game for somebody like that. You can't just get into a role when you're in your late 20s and just.
Well, and even if it is. Right. And, the thing is that a lot of actors want, they're actors. They want to play different roles.
Yeah.
They don't want to just be wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. What was that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't say anything. I think I'm probably lagging behind. My internet is being a bitch.
No problem. Let's move on to Drew and Portia and all this stuff obviously we saw Brad exit. Um, we saw Brad exit the show. He's taken the money from Drew, and he
Mhm.
comes in dressed in a suit, gives his resignation, and leaves. Um, After giving Drew the information that Portia was the one that drugged him and had him be drugged or whatever the case was. Um,
Mhm.
so I like Perry Shen. He's always, I'm sure, somebody who's going to come in and out. But for now, we've seen the last of Brad.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably see him again, but he's gone for now. We don't really need him right now, so. And he's a
I think,
recurring actor. That's just
yeah.
how it goes. They're in and out.
And even though, a lot of his ties were great, I still feel like once Kelly Tebow left and Britt died, his purpose was kind of gone, unfortunately.
Right. Right. Yep.
Steve
Absolutely.
Steve asks, why haven't we seen Leo in so long? I miss his friendship with Chase. It could just be child actor laws, and he's just, they may not just want to bring the kid in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time they don't usually bring the kids in just to bring them in. They usually, you know what I mean? They're not going to be, they don't do we haven't seen this kid in a while thing.
Yeah.
They just don't. So, and I do know that Easton Rocket Sueda, is that his last name? He has other, he has a lot of other things that he does acting wise. So, yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny. We haven't seen Avery in a while.
Right. I have a feeling she'll be Soros pretty soon.
I think they're getting ready to Soros her. I actually wrote an article about part of that with Sunny's kids for Parade. But I thought it was really funny with Sunny and Lois the other day with Donna. And she was like, she's not listening to a word you say. And he said, it's in the Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. She is her mother's daughter. So.
Yes. Yeah, Donna says, I love James, but I do miss Leo. Steve kind of follows up. He kind of fits the adoption thing. And again, it's the same thing. He kind of does.
And maybe he'll show up when they adopt a child if they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not necessarily something they would talk to Leo about now.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because kids, it could be years.
Yeah.
It's a soap opera, so it won't, but it could be.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on a little bit. We did bring up Drew and Portia. How do you like Drew? Like, Drew has a very big stranglehold on Portia, and then today we saw Drew and Curtis talking about that. Is Drew trying to blackmail Curtis now as well in order to protect Portia?
It seemed that that's what he was doing today with his article suggestions.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that Curtis recorded it because, he has Drew, on tape about blackmailing somebody.
Yep.
But it's about blackmailing his wife. So what exactly does he do with that information? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of a, kind of thing. So, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole thing is kind of stupid. Because she told Curtis that she changed the test results.
Yeah, she did.
She just didn't tell him that Brad blackmailed her about it.
Right.
But I'm like, really? But it's a soap opera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're right. All right. You're right. It's a soap opera, and they will do outlandish things completely. Um,
Do we think that Drew is? Do we think Drew is the one who? Do we think there might have been some Drew shenanigans to get the custody case so quickly?
I think so. I
I
think
think
because
it's possible. Yeah.
yeah, because we've seen Drew call the freaking lab or the medical facility in Germany to have them say Michael doesn't want to see Willow. So yeah,
And he was against her getting a postponement for the hearing, and he has this whole plan about trying to paint Michael as an absentee father. So it works into his plan for it to happen without Michael there.
Right. So I have a feeling Michael's going to show up at the court case. I don't at the hearing.
It's possible. Honestly, I hate it, but it's probably likely that he's the surprise guest. But then again, I don't know, because I don't know that Sidwell would care. And he looked shocked, but we'll see. I mean, those things play out. I mean, honestly, I would love for it to be Valentin.
That's definitely a possibility too. I mean, the shocked faces could just be Lucy having a wardrobe malfunction.
Also true. Absolutely. Also true.
And that's historical for the nurse's ball.
And she has, I think, 6 costume changes in this one, Lord. Which is great. So it could be. I'm gearing myself to be disappointed that it's Michael. I think it would be more impactful for him to walk in at the custody hearing time.
Yep.
I'm really hoping that even if we don't see it, that Carly does decide to call him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what brings him home. I'm interested. Jason has a mysterious phone call on Friday. And so I had figured that would be Michael. But if he's going to be showing up, then I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's so many possibilities. That's what I love.
I know. There really is. You can't figure it out, you know. So I mean it's great. And I gotta agree with Donna here. Drew just digs himself deeper into the love to hate status. I obviously listening to the multiple podcasts I do listen to on the GH Mini Spotlight. James Lott Jr. brought up he's surprised there hasn't been a who shot Drew or who stabbed Drew storyline yet, and I don't think they're going there.
I don't either, and I don't understand the calls of this man has to die, because he's just he is Edward, AJ, and Tracy all rolled into one. He is a quintessential Q. Ava, who has killed people in cold blood, is walking around Port Charles free as a bird. Sunny, who has killed people in cold blood, including recently, walking around. You know, Steve Burton says Jason Morgan has killed hundreds of people because he's a hitman, yada, yada, yada. All alive and well.
Yep.
You know, and yes, it is absolutely skeezy to have an affair with your nephew's wife. It's skeezy to frame your family members for things. It's skeezy to blackmail people.
Yep.
But it's not like this man is a murderer.
No, he's just a crooked politician, and we have a ton of those in this world.
He's a Quartermain.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the most Quartermain. He's AJ's insecurity. He's Edward and Tracy's ruthlessness. It's.
And how many times did Alan cheat on Monica?
Not only did Alan cheat on Monica, Alan tried to kill her.
And she tried to kill him, so it makes sense.
Kill him.
Yes.
You know,
Yep. He is the Quartermain, the most Quartermain.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. You know, so I swear to God, a lot of the time, today's soap viewers could not have survived the heyday.
Today's soap viewers don't know how to utilize a soap opera as an escape. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I mean, don't get me started on the soapbox because it's going to go into how this culture sucks nowadays. But
the thing that makes me craziest is when they say that, how long is this going to drag on? Just like, it's a soap opera. Things should drag on for years.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? How long is? It's
long
months. They're on 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
Yep.
Things have to drag on.
Yes, they do.
I can't. Oh God. Anyway, all right, moving on. What do we have next? What's up next?
Okay. So we are going to go over to our What the Fudge moment of the week, and brought to you by What the Fudge Homemade Confections in New Haven, Connecticut. And that is just simply what we saw today between Carly and Nina. And oh my God, because I post now, for those of you who know, as you all should know by now, I am a huge wrestling fan. And I could really see, I posted the meme. If you were watching wrestling in the late 90s and you know ECW, Joey Styles, who was the commentator for ECW, he had a couple of different sayings that he would go, and anytime two women would get into a fight, he'd yell "cat fight," and that's exactly what we saw today. Holy crap!
Honestly, the what the fudge moment was Nina going to Sunny and Willow afterwards and playing the victim.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm sorry, Carly didn't tell a word of a lie today.
No,
she didn't. And what Carly doesn't even know is that Nina already has a way to get Willow and her grandkids away from Drew.
Yes.
But she's not going to do it because it could hurt her.
Yep.
And, for all her crap she was talking about Carly, she's never sacrificed. Carly has put her literal life on the line for her children multiple times. Carly sacrifices for her children. She's doing this for Michael, knowing pretty sure that Michael's going to be pissed as hell at her for it.
Yep.
But she's doing it because it's more important to her to do what her child needs than to be, in their good graces.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you could argue that this isn't what Mike, whatever, but we also know what, Willow's over there telling Isaiah that Drew's a great daddy to those kids. And the best thing for them would be to be a family that's stable with her and Drew.
Yeah.
Carly's brighter than she knows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, and then freaking Nina, was trying to kill her.
Yes.
Was gonna brain her, like, dude. But I loved it though, because Nina slapped her and then Carly punched her.
Oh man, it was great.
Wonderful. And they posed for really cute pictures on the GH Instagram with their stunt doubles.
Yep, I saw that. And that was the What the Fudge moment of the week, brought to you by What the Fudge Homemade Confections. If you live in the New Haven, Connecticut area, just go to whatthefudgect.com or facebook.com/whatthefudgect. Go ahead and check it out. It is made in a cottage kitchen, so she can't ship, unfortunately. But if you're in the area, she could deliver it to you. Or if you're passing by, you guys can meet up. You could meet somewhere. But check it out. She just recently made her first fudge cake, the birthday cake fudge, and it looked delicious. So again, follow on Facebook, facebook.com/whatthefudgect, or go to whatthefudgect.com.
Also, did you notice how that Jocelyn put her law enforcement WSB moves to use?
Yep, I saw that.
Restraining Nina. I was like, ooh, look at her.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. She subdued the subject.
And Donna brings up, I'm not sure even the knowledge of hide angry sex would dislodge Willow from Drew.
I don't disagree at this point because
Right.
she waited so long, but everything she says about, just being all about her daughter and her daughter's children and her grandchildren is just crap.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
she's not telling that secret. And I loved it. I loved the free for all. I am glad that, that Carly got to hit her back.
Mm-hmm.
And when Joss walked in the door, I was half expecting that it was going to be Jason.
Yeah.
To pull Carly, because Carly keeps getting stopped from slapping these bitches.
Yes.
No one is ever around to stop anybody from slapping her, but yeah, I'm glad that she got to. Yeah, one of my friends in the Jarly group said they are no longer. She's no longer live, laugh, love Carly, and I have prayed for this. Amen.
Well, hopefully Carly could. Hopefully we'll see more of this Carly and Nina fight. I enjoyed it. They don't do a lot of fights on the show, but I really enjoyed it. And
may
also,
I just say, hold on 1 second. Sonny Corinthos is a bitch. Going
yeah.
to like that. And if he dares to step to Carly about any of this,
yes, agreed.
Give him some of that braining that Nina was trying with that candle, because dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Carly is right about this. She's righter than she knows.
Yes, agreed.
And all these motherfuckers trying to stop her. Sorry.
And if you enjoyed today's fight and you want to support the show and you happen to be a WWE fan, we are an affiliate of WWE Shop, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the information right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suds and Squirt Social Media is an official affiliate of the WWE Shop. Whether you want merchandise from the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, or the Hall of Famers, the New World Order, or from WrestleMania itself, scan the QR code on the screen or go to suds-media.com/wrestling merch, and it gives us a commission to help our show.
So check that out. If you enjoyed the fight and you're a wrestling fan, go ahead and support the show using that link as well. All right, so we're going to get to the next segment of the show. We're actually going to hop into our DeLorean because we are getting ready.
We're sending you back to the future.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Professor Angela, and we're going to go and do Today in General Hospital History.
Okay, first up, we have May 13th, and we're going all the way back to 1977, when Stuart Damon debuted on General Hospital as Dr. Alan Quatermain, Stuart Damon. And that meant the Quatermain family beat the Spencers by a few months because Bobby showed up later that year, I believe September, October. So the Quatermains were in Port Charles a few months before the Spencers. But May 13th, 1977 was the start of the Quatermain family in Port Charles. In 1994, May 13th kicked off one of the most poignant stories that General Hospital had in those years. And it was BJ, the daughter of Bobby and Tony, was rushed to General Hospital after she was in a school bus crash. On May 14th, 1993, Tiffany told Sean that she was pregnant. 1996, Jason and Robin had their first kiss. May 15th, Frisco and Felicia made love. Jackson Brenda got in 1995. In 1998, Jackson Brenda got engaged. Also in 1998, Maurice Bernard returned as Sonny Corinthos after being gone for a while.
I could see the disdain on your face.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it. In 2015, General Hospital did the first of 2 live episodes.
I remember that.
2024, Giovanni Palmieri debuted, played by Giovanni Mazza.
Mm-hmm.
On May 16th, 1994, Tony and Bobby found out about their daughter BJ's accident. And Tony realized that BJ was brain dead and wanted to donate her heart to save her cousin Maxie, who needed a heart transplant. And in 2024, on May 16th, Chase and Brook Lynn were married. On May 17th in 1994, everyone started hearing about BJ's accident. And that is when we got that one of the best scenes that Felicia ever had, that Christina Wagner ever had, when she found out. She was so happy that her daughter Maxie had a heart donor. And then not Barbara Jean. Oh, it was to this day, it brings tears to my eyes when I see that scene. On this day in 1995, Stone told Robin that he was HIV positive. Also in 95, Jack Wagner last appeared as Frisco Jones, and he would not show up again until one guest appearance in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
In 2004...
Really? That was 2013?
Yep.
Wow. Damn, that was 12 years ago. Holy crap.
In 2004, Lorenzo told Carly that Sam was pregnant with Sonny's baby. And that stuff hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, Curtis and Jordan got engaged at the nurses' ball. On May 18th, 1994, BJ's heart was transplanted into Maxie. And in 2000, Carly took off the rings Jason had put on her finger and accepted Sonny's marriage proposal and put his ring on. And that was a very sad day for Charlie fans.
Mm-hmm.
2015, Nina, who was played by Michelle Stafford, married Rick Lansing.
Yep.
But they never slept together because he was trying to just get her money. And he was sleeping with her mother.
Right, yeah.
And on today...
That was a convoluted story.
Yes.
Well, Rick is a convoluted character, so...
He is. May 19th. First, we'll do 2003. Elizabeth told Emily that she was pregnant with Cameron, who was Xander's baby. And Emily and Xander were married at the time. But Emily was fine with it because she was having an affair with Nick. So, you know. In 1994, BJ's whole heart transplant thing was just... But in 1994, May 19th, after BJ's heart was transplanted into Maxie, Tony visited her and put his head on her chest and listened to his daughter's heart beating in Maxie's chest. And on this day in 2003, Maxie, who was spiraling, overdosed at Carly's club. We know she survived it, though. And that was
today.
Your General Hospital.
Thank you so much, Professor Angela. I always love the history lessons that we provide.
Yes.
So a couple things that came in the chat while you were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Donna said, when are you going to do a bracelet that evokes LW's belt? You know, you're going to see Laura Wright later this weekend, right? Or next weekend?
Next weekend. 30th, I think. Yeah.
30th or 31st.
I can't remember. I got to look.
But either way, maybe you could bring it up to her, the belt that I gave her, and see if we can make replica bracelets, and we'll give her part of the proceeds.
Oh, okay.
I
could ask her if there was a charity that she wanted part of the proceeds to.
We could do that too. Yeah. And then you were talking about when Maurice Bernard came back as Sonny. Did he really go out for The Sopranos, and that's why he came back?
He did, but I don't think was The Sopranos 1998? Wasn't The Sopranos later?
I thought The Sopranos were in the 90s.
Oh, maybe they were. He actually did audition. He was when they actually did a documentary about the Sopranos for an anniversary. And
Okay.
he auditioned for Tony Soprano and didn't get it. And that his audition was part of that documentary.
Sopranos started in '99, so
Okay, so yeah, it's possible that that's why he came back. He had left because he was having mental health issues. He had to be institutionalized. He's been very, I'm not spilling any tea about that. Right. But yes, he did audition for the Sopranos. He went out for Tony Soprano and didn't get it. I mean, honestly, I think he was probably a little too young anyway.
Yeah, I agree. If it was rebooted and he went out for it now, I could probably see him getting that kind of role.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I was being so nice. See, I can be nice. People don't think I can be nice. I can be nice. My mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I don't say anything at all very loudly. He would be age appropriate for The Sopranos. You are correct.
Yes.
Leave it at that.
I wonder if the surprise visitor is Brenda.
You have no idea how I would. As soon as I heard there was going to be a surprise visitor, and I figured out that it probably wasn't going to be Blaze, I upped my daily sacrifice from 1 goat to 2.
All right. Well,
you have no idea what I would give for her to come get her man, because Brenda showing up can only mean one thing.
Yeah. And
it's the only thing I ask Santa Claus for every year. I mean, aside from world peace, but mostly this.
Yep. All right.
I'm tired, boss. I need him gone. You probably don't get that movie reference. The Green Mile with Tom Hanks.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I know Michael Clark Duncan was in there, so
yes. And I was channeling Michael Clark Duncan when he, didn't want to fight his execution. He's tired, boss. Tired, boss. Sorry.
That's okay. All right, so let's kind of move on. Joss and Emma. I really like where they're going with this story. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that Emma put 2 and 2 together once you realized, Joss is the one that found my flash drive, and realized that she was probably the one that corrupted it somehow. Although, I'm sorry, why did she not have a backup on her actual laptop?
Well, here's my thing. My thing with Emma, I at first I struggled a little bit with this story because I was like, wow, Emma really wants that, and it kind of really sucks. But Joss is doing this for, world security, whatever. But then we found out that Emma was only wanted the job because she wanted to, take down the professor. So then I was like, whatever, I don't care. Yeah. She's not wronging her.
Yeah.
But Emma's acting like she is wronging her. And then, all the shit she was saying about Jax and her daddy's money. I mean, it's just literally Jocelyn has never been like that.
No, never.
I would have been fine if she was like that because she would have been more interesting. Joss is, again, like Michael, a little bit too good for my liking.
Well, yeah, Melissa, you're right. She also stupidly brought it to the beach. If it was that important, drop it off at home first. I mean, I get she wanted to finish her thing, but
did she walk to the beach? Can't you leave it in the car?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. But I do like the dynamic because they did have some great conversations. They kind of cleared the air on certain things, but here's what I didn't like so much. If you're trying to build up, it would have made me have more sympathy for Emma had Jocelyn not have to get up abruptly to leave once Emma was about to tell her whatever she's hiding or her secret or whatever it was that she had on Dolan. regarding the animal testing. Like when they were talking at the beach after the party, and then, abruptly Josh got a text from Jack or whatever it was, and she had to leave WSB business. If they had let that conversation go a little further, I would probably have a little bit more sympathy for Emma. Because as of right now, it looks to me like Emma's just doing it to save the animals, which of course we are animal lovers here, but Jocelyn needed this role because of the WSB case that they're doing, which, I'm sorry, outweighs just wanting to save the animals.
And it's not just about wanting to save the animals. She wants, revenge on Dalton and yada, 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 which is, perfectly fine and whatever. I would love for this to end up with Emma in the WSB and her and Jocelyn as partners.
Yeah.
There was a lot of speculation that Emma was already WSB, but I think that that's been kind of debunked.
Yeah.
She was too emotionally involved, with the whole thing, with the crying and it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But she's so much like her mother, which is a struggle for me because, most of the time I hated Robin and I like Emma, but she's really testing me.
Yep.
With this, because it's just ridiculous. And I still have hope. I have a feeling that, she's going to be, a pain in Jocelyn's ass and endanger the mission, and Jocelyn's going to end up having to save her.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So.
Well, because again, Emma will find out the fact that he's testing on animals, and she'll still try to, get rid of him, out him, whatever the case may be. And I agree. She'll get trapped somewhere, and Jocelyn will figure it out and save her. I like that. And you know what? I like the scenes in Dalton's office when Jocelyn was kind of in there going through his files, and whatever kind of X-ray machine that she had trying to find the cameras or the audio recording device, and then Vaughn comes in and says, double checks it, and she's like, "What do you think? I can't do it myself? I already checked." He's like, "That's okay. I'll double check."
Yeah.
But I like that. And you know what? I would be okay if they don't make Vaughn and Joss a romantic pair.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything romantic with them yet. Usually you'll see like deep moments and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, such a pain in the ass. I was supposed to call her back earlier and I didn't. And she just tried to call me. So I messaged and said, "Can't talk podcasting." And she quote tweeted basically my earlier, "I will call you later," and went, "This you?" I didn't say when later.
That's okay. You should have seen the text thread. My family has a group chat. We were talking about Memorial Day weekend, which is coming up next week. Which, guys, we will still be live on Memorial Day. So we'll still be here next week. But so we were talking about it, and we're getting together. We're having a cookout on Sunday, and I had asked something when about it, and my mother replied yesterday saying, it's not this Sunday, right? It's 2 weeks from today. And we're like, no, next week is Memorial Day weekend. So she finally figured out. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I was so confused. I thought it was in 2 weeks." So I called her up and I said, "I'm just calling to check on your mental health."
Yeah, she's just like, "Shut up." Yeah, my family has a bunch of group threads as well. And one time we were doing planning some family get together, and some rando ended up in somebody put in somebody's number wrong or something, and this person is just talking to us for a little while, and finally we're like, who is this? And it was just some random person. We're like, all right, well, you can come if you want, but and I was just thinking, I'm like, this is the start of like a serial killer thing, a murder mystery. We're all gonna end up dead.
Or it could just be a wholesome, story like that one about the guy that texted the wrong number and thought it was his grandmother. And
I know that story. I'm just saying, with my family, more than likely, we've either invited the serial killer inadvertently. But yeah, it was family group chats. Nothing like them, right?
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. Yeah. All right. Well, how about we move on to Alexis and Lucky now coming together to realize that they both realized that Christina was the one to cut the brake lines. And
it was very much I know what I know. What do you know?
Yeah. But I like how they both individually came to that assumption.
Yes. I also liked them having Lucky find the place.
Yes.
Because they leaned into his Spencer-ness.
Yeah. Because didn't he say that he had a very persuasive conversation with the guy at the impound lot?
Yes. Yep.
And then Alexis hiring Spinelli.
Yeah.
And that was a cute scene. And Spinelli saying, I think about Fair Samantha all the time. You sound just like her. I'm always at your, at your disposal.
And then when she was getting impatient with him, and he's like, I feel like I'm with Samantha again. Yeah.
And I just want to clear something up. I was never ever a Sam hater. Because I a lot of people think that because I was defending the show and defending Frank Valentini's the fact that the character of Sam was killed off. I never hated Sam. I liked Sam, but sometimes you just have to, let go. Because there's still people that want to bring Kelly Monaco back.
Oh my God. And guys, I don't know if any of you guys are watching this, probably not because they don't like me, but Kelly Monaco is never coming back to General Hospital.
No.
And it's not even Frank Valentini. It's not Frank. The choice was above Frank's head. She is never coming back to General Hospital. Period. End of story. And stop blaming Frank. It wasn't his fault. It was above Frank. It was above Nathan Varney. It wasn't Frank. It was a network decision. Period. End of story. And they will not be reversing it because a lot of other things went into it that people aren't privy to. And that's just how it is. Now, I could be the world's biggest Sam lover, and I still wouldn't be on the, this is a business.
Yep.
And if they do not run it as such, it will go away.
Yes.
And people are like, what if it was your fave? I've been watching soap operas. I'm 51 years old. I have memories of watching soap operas that go back over 40 years. You think I haven't lost a fave or 20?
Yeah.
Please.
Hell, ABC lost multiple shows.
Exactly.
Over the years.
And a lot of them were my favorite ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, Carly is my favorite soap opera character. We're on the 4th Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A witch's spell, believe me. Sam was not my favorite by any means, but I actually really liked her and Dante. I
Yes,
liked
I
a
would
lot
too.
of her pairings that weren't Jason. I liked her and Patrick. I liked her and Dante. I liked her and Sunny. I didn't like her and Jax. I thought they were stupid, but I thought her and Sunny were hot. I liked her. I mean, I liked a lot of Sam's pairings that weren't Jason. If I was going to do a spell to get rid of somebody on that show, I assure you, Kelly and Sam way down the 2 goats a day I sacrifice to get rid of Maurice Bernard. Okay? My God, I've summoning a crossroads demon tonight. It
Well,
would not be Kelly. It wouldn't be Becky. It wouldn't, it has nothing.
yeah, no, I completely understand. All right. So, moving on, let's kind of wrap this up a little bit because we're going to be back at 10.
One other thing.
Yeah.
Steve, why would you think that I would have to buy a witch's spell? I can brew my own. Okay? Thank you.
She's got her own. She's got her own stash of wands out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be making a new voodoo doll tonight, Steve. If your back hurts, don't worry about it.
All right. So, kind of a couple of little things here. I like the scene with Rocco and Dante. Where Rocco was trying to kind of tell Dante, listen, it wasn't Danny, it wasn't Gio. I made the decision to drink. I didn't have to, but I did. So be mad at me. I like the teenager owning up to it. Rocco's a good kid. And even when I know we talked about it last week, but even when Lulu was talking to Danny and Rocco and kind of being that parental figure, and saying that, Rocco has to clean, the house or clean the, everything, the porch. And I like Danny saying, you have a back porch too?
Yeah.
But
I'm still angry at Dante about that, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Letting them go play video games.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, either way, it's really good. I like how all of the young set is kind of coming out. I know the summers it's historically been the spotlight on the younger folks, with Joss and Emma and Trina and Kai and Danny, Rocco, Gio, and everything. They're kind of bringing everything together. We should be seeing the pool scene very soon.
The pool is up. We've seen behind the scenes pictures. The pool is up.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a lot of stuff is going to be coming down the pike, and I'm enjoying every single minute of it. All right, last thing. Laura and Ezra, and Laura throwing the drink in Ezra's face.
Yeah.
Do we see a new mayor of Port Charles in Ezra Boyle?
I don't know. I personally think that, I mean, it's possible that, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think maybe, because it also would line up with Jeannie's vacation.
Yep.
Her summer vacation. So I could see them having her lose it. I don't know that Ezra will be mayor long, because I think that Jordan's going to end up mayor.
I think so too. I think it
Jordan
may be something.
Yeah.
It may be something where Laura's removed from office. Ezra becomes, short-term mayor until the next election cycle, and that's when Jordan takes over.
And, one thing that people don't remember, Laura was never actually elected mayor.
No, Spencer screwed with
the votes.
Yep.
So, don't cry for me, Argentina. She, Laura's not my favorite character anyway, but whatever. But I'm fine. I think that, Anna will end up back at the WSB. Mac will end up chief of police. Dante will end up chief of detectives. Jordan will end up mayor. Laura will be head of the hospital board.
Yeah.
All will go back to how it was before.
Yeah. which makes total sense. And Sidwell will be a thorn in everybody's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Didn't see a lot. We did see a little bit of Elizabeth and Lucky this week, which is how Lucky got tipped off that Rick said that the car was taken by the insurance company, because that's where he remembered, oh, well, the guy at the impound lot said it was already destroyed. So,
and let me just say, I mean, I know that Lucky is not telling Liz what he knows.
Right.
He's not doing it malicious. You know, he's doing it to try to protect Christina. Christina guilted him about Sam.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a danger to Liz. He didn't agree. You know, he had started doing it before he knew Liz was involved. You know, I mean, he's not, he's in love with Elizabeth. He does not like lying to her about this. But Rick, he was just a gaslighting motherfucker to Liz.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Her memory, you know, just totally gaslighting her.
Yeah.
And while his reasons for this are largely Molly, they're also money.
Yes, of course.
So, you know, it's nice. I kind of like that, you know, the more things change with Rick, the more they stay the same. And I still see, you know, glimmers of the man who tried to smother her with a pillow, which was my favorite Rick Lansing.
The 2 M's, money
Third
and
time's
Molly.
a charm, Rick. You failed twice. You failed twice. Third time's a charm. But then
Lucas comes over and Lucky sees his chance to escape and follow up on the lead. So I really foresee Christina being committed. Kind of circling back to Lucky and Alexis in the scene in the garage, because they found a letter. So the car was obviously moved. You know, so Ava and Rick are one step ahead of Alexis, but they don't realize that Lucky is now involved in looking for the vehicle.
Right. Now, this week we have spoilers that Christina is shocked and something happens with Alexis as well. So something's going down with it. And I had thought that another secret that was going to come out at the nurses' ball could have been that one, but no, it won't be, because it won't.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that. So we'll see. Yep. But yeah, Christina is, I think, you know, it's possible, because, you know, there's something with Rick and Alexis tomorrow. It's possible that he pushes and she's just, you know, hell, maybe Alexis is already going to get in trouble for embezzlement.
Yeah, could be.
You know, and, you know, maybe that all comes out that way.
Yeah, could be. There's a lot of different secrets that could come out in different fashions, and I'm loving it. But folks, we're going to take a little.
Drew?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, there's a lot, and we're loving every minute of General Hospital.
Every.
And
Chase has to arrest Tracy. Tracy is getting, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the show, but Tracy is getting arrested. We're not getting her nurses' ball performance. She will not be at the nurses' ball. I'm pretty sure whoever Chase is talking to on the phone is Mac telling him that he has to arrest Tracy.
Yeah. Because so David, you can just go check from the very beginning, because we did talk about that.
Drew is framing Tracy for drugging him. So
we're going to take a break, because we'll be back at 10 with Gate Crashers, which we're talking all about Beyond the Gates. We do have a new TED that started this past week. So if you want to hear us talk all about Beyond the Gates, Kim will be joining us. Gate Crashers comes up at 10 p.m. Eastern in just a little over a half hour. So, Angela, where can everybody find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Brooklyn74. They can find me on Facebook, Angela Ryan Duncan. Same with Instagram, pettyprattle.com and parade.com. I have some really fun articles. There is a great article I did this week with some spoilers about Sasha having a baby girl.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
So dive on into that one. I think you guys will enjoy the investigative reporting that went into bringing you that spoiler.
Yes.
Just like my internet stalking, let me tell you, pays off. Rory Gibson's Michael, Sasha's having a girl. I'm telling you, I do the hard work for you guys, and I do it for you.
And we appreciate that. And you can find me at Vinny Suds or at Suds Media on Twitter. Go to suds-media.com for everything. And remember, folks, all of our podcasts now come on one RSS feed. You can subscribe on wherever you get your favorite podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon as well. So check that out. You could actually ask your Alexa to play Suds News. So check it out and subscribe. All of the shows come out on the one RSS feed now. So it's just a lot easier that way. So, folks, we'll be back at 10 to talk all about Beyond the Gates. So for Angela and Vinny, we'll see you in less than an hour for Gate Crashers.